In 1954, Princeton H. McKinney drove from Memphis to Chicago, passing through Markham. McKinney found Greater Bethesda Baptist Church, where he became an administrative assistant to Pastor Lincoln James. One day, McKinney delivered a message in the absence of James. After his word, a woman, Mrs. Holmes, approached McKinney. The encounter would change history. Mrs. Holmes asked McKinney to come out to Markham, but as his widow Liz explains, McKinney was reluctant.
He said he did remember passing through there the street when he was coming to Reverend James. So she asked him, could he please come and start a church in Markham? He said, you think I'm coming all the way out in the country to start a church?
He did.
They was building this community where Christ Temple is now in Markham. Nothing was there but fields, open fields. And they had this trailer where they had it for their office, where they worked in there in the trailer. So he kept walking and going there every day. And when they finished the completion of the neighborhood, the building of the projects and the homes there, he asked, could he buy the trailer? And they say, buy it, you can have it. And he started the church there.
May 9th, 1959, McKinney and a small band gathered to organize Christ Temple. The group of believers would grow, and soon this new church made plans for a bigger building, the semi-colonial 500-seat structure now used for Sunday service. For 55 years, Sister Teresa Cannon has worshiped at Christ Temple.
When the building was finished, oh, what an exciting time there was. We had I don't know if you call it a caravan, but it was like a parade. Brand new church, new pews, new everything. A baptismal pool. So different from the little, what I call, humble tent that we came out of.
From the corner of Wood Street, Christ Temple would serve as a beacon of light in the south suburbs. Pastor McKinney led the congregation for 42 years.
It was the center of the community, of all the suburbs. Everybody knew about Christ Temple. Everybody knew about heard of Pastor McKinney. Because see, Pastor McKinney would take care of everybody. Now, if you take care of people, you have a lot of friends. They would call him for everything. He would just come running, going to the hospital, going to the jail, going to the school, just wherever he was needed.
He was the one that would go into the schools, the high schools, when there was trouble, and there was always trouble in the beginning when these schools merged, when District 205, Thornwood was built. Thornton, there were gangs, fights, riots, and all of that. They would call for Pastor McKinney, and he would step up there into the schools, not afraid, and things would calm down. So we got a name. It's all over. He got footprints all over this south suburban area.
The church was always the central area for activities in town. I mean, you would have a fish fry on Friday night. You would have the Girl Scouts meeting on Saturday afternoon. Little League would be meeting that night. And the next day, the church would have its service. And then after church, it would be like today, an ice cream social for the children. So there was always something going on here at this church. And the word full service, I think, started at Christ Temple. 7 days a week. This church has always functioned, and Reverend McKinney, ironically, I think would have to be called the 911 and 411 operator of his time, because whenever there was a problem, whether it be with the youth or with the adults, whether they're members of the church or not, he was always there. He answered the phone.
McKinney would pass the baton to the next generation, younger leaders just as dedicated to reaching, teaching, and developing disciplines of God's kingdom. Pastor McKinney picked Reverend Dale Lawson as his successor.
Yet through Jesus' sufferings on the cross, he became the final and ultimate sacrifice for our sin.
As time went on, he kept having me to go in his stead to various community meetings with politicians and community leaders. I would go representing him and Christ Temple. And I said, wait a minute, I said, something's going on here. this thing is being elevated a little bit, you know. And so I said, I didn't think too much about it. And so as time went on, I saw him giving me more responsibility. And I said, now why is he doing this? And I was in denial of what was actually going on. And so I just tried to play it off, as we say. I tried to ignore it and just do what leadership gave me to do.
Give God praise. Give Him glory. Give Him glory.
I had to learn to find my own place and realize that no one really feels anybody else's shoes. But they continue the foundation on the foundation that someone has previously left.
But we will celebrate your resurrection, oh God, and I thank you for the Holy Spirit that reigns and dwells in each and every one of us.
I have never been quiet, never, ever. And I tried so hard to tone it down, but God has been so good to me, Tamon. Even this position that I hold. You know, Mary, Jesus' mother, she has a saying, behold the handmaiden of the Lord. Who am I to hold a leadership position? So I just get excited when I think of the limitless power of God.
This is our prayer this morning. Amen, amen, amen.
And so the Friendly Church on the Highway celebrates 60 years spreading the gospel, meeting the needs of people. The dream of Princeton McKinney, Mrs. Holmes, and that small band realized.
I'm most proud of the fact that Christ Temple is still community-minded, reaching out to the needs of those who are in distress, those who are disenfranchised, those who are on the outskirts of society. Anytime someone is in a dilemma or crisis, Christ Temple comes together.
And imagine how the founding members must feel. It's a lifetime, and it's experiences, joys, pain sometimes, victories, conquest. It's a lot. 60 years is a lifetime.
With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Amen. Amen. Amen.